The partnership we've been having with Planday for over a year now, I think.
Yeah.
So, hi, Fred.
Hello, Jakob. How are you?
If you could, I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
Good. That didn't make sense.
Welcome. My name is Jakub and I'm the co-founder of Blazity. I'm joined today by Fred.
Hello.
Director of Growth at Planday, one of our longtime clients and partners. Fred, can you introduce yourself in a few words?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for having me, Jakob. Yeah, my name is Fred Lindfjord. I'm the Director of Growth at Planday. And Planday is a B2B workforce management platform that serves companies that need help with scheduling and time and attendance. Currently, my function sits in the marketing department, and that's also responsible for the website, and I guess that's why I'm here.
Yes, thank you for the intro. So you're a B2B SaaS company.
Yeah.
Can you tell me then what are the most crucial aspects of website and working with a website for you?
Having a reliable partner, a scalable, future-proof technical setup. So those two things are the main things. And I think at Planday, we were actually lacking on both two levels.
What drove you to, what challenges at Planday drove you to seek change, to look for partners?
Planday in general has gone through a lot of change. We were acquired in 2020 by a company called Xero, which is a really big platform for solving payroll needs. And after an acquisition, there's a lot of turbulence that's going on. There's a lot of technical debt, especially when it comes to our website. It was an area that has been very under invested in. We had big problems driving organic traffic when it comes to SEO. Our content editors couldn't work with the back end. It took a lot of time to just even get things out there, and it would break down. I think for the specific situation that Planday is in, where we're kind of doing a strategic shift and we're looking to serve more smaller customers, it has a huge impact on also what kind of acquisition channels we're using. And so in our situation, it also means that SEO and organic traffic is going to be crucial in our success and in our growth. The website is kind of our storefront. It's the way in. It's where all our revenue kind of starts. People, exploring Planday and trying us out. So I really need to make sure that it works and that it evolves and that it performs. We needed to really think about changing the setup as soon as possible. What
were the improvements you were looking for when looking to change the website?
For us, I think it's definitely things like speed. In growth, it's all about these cycles where you the faster you can go around your process, the faster you'll see performance. So I think speed is a key metric for me in across a lot of different layers.
One of the enablers of fast deployments, of course, and also fast development, apart from the framework, right, and the CMS, is the hosting, and that's often overlooked. A lot of current hosting providers, whether it's managed hosting or the leading hosting platforms, they don't focus that much on the speed and agility as Vercel, which we are using for your implementation. So actually Vercel, whom we are a partner of, allows us to deploy at scale fast. And also it allows our developers to work faster.
Hosting is probably not what I think about every day. I think that shit should just work. I mean, that's where you use partners.
Sorry that I cut in, but you saying that this is just shit that should work is exactly also what Vercel praises, right? That you shouldn't have AWS and 10 Kubernetes and 50 Docker. You should have just a button, deploy, and it should work. And that's what Vercel is about.
So it's really important or interesting and great to hear that this was considered also in when we choose and when we got the advice on what tech stack we should or have to use to meet our growth ambitions. So yeah, that's really cool and interesting to hear. So yeah, thank you for choosing Vercel for us.
You're welcome, Fred. I know you're using Next.js on the front end of your headless setup. So can you tell me what role does that play?
I think Next.js is by far the one, I think, unique framework that actually has this in mind when it's sort of built up, that they also has kind of organic traffic and SEO in mind. Usually that comes maybe as an afterthought or not really the intention when they develop the framework.
I won't lie when I say I completely agree with you. This is something we believe as well, and hence why we work with Next.js on a lot of our headless implementations. So when speaking to the comparison of your old website, you mentioned that it was on WordPress, to your new website, I feel like we need to look at the CMS, which a CMS system is always one of the most important parts of any web setup.
Absolutely. So when we went into this, I kind of gave the requirements, or more like you also pulled the requirements out of me by asking a lot of good questions. And now we're using a CMS called builder.io, which is kind of sort of built with this in mind. So you have these A/B testing functionalities, being able to kind of target content to create these personalized experiences that we really need to do, and that's really nice. And it's also small things like deploying. It's like when we work in the CMS, what we see there, it's exactly what's on the website. Whereas our previous setup with maybe Gutenberg, it looked different. Like it looked completely different than what's on the site, and it took like 10 minutes to deploy, and each country, because we have a multilingual site, had its own kind of website, right? We also have an analytics layer inside Builder, so we can also kind of get a source of truth that is kind of closest to where the conversion happened, which is always good to have next to your analytic tech stack that you might have, like Google Analytics, etc.
I think especially comparing it with WordPress, even with Gutenberg, Builder offers quite an advanced layer of visual editing that allows content editors to really do a lot without the help of the developers. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And I think that is what I really like with that setup, is that we can, as you said, like we don't need to get developers on every little thing. We can actually build our templates or our layouts of our site by connecting these different blocks in a visual way, and then kind of save them as one entity and update them globally. Visually, our team, or the extended marketing team, so content editors, loves it, right? They really like working with it. It's very easy. And that's something for us that is super important, because content is really the fuel for our growth.
I agree with you. As we spoke at the beginning of our talk, content is king. And so we need to build our web systems with that in mind. I remember you had a peculiar way of integrating with third-party systems on your old site.
Yeah, I think we had built a very bloated setup for. I think we created a separate API and a database or something like that. Now I think what you guys helped us with was kind of like we took away 90% of the stuff. We didn't really need it, and also the tech that you guys helped us choose is also very much nimble. And I know we are going to change our data flow and stuff. So it's really future-proof now, in a way, and simple and fast.
So this being said, can you tell me what changed from your initial state of the old website to where we are today?
Wow. I mean, I think that our speed has increased four times, where we can get things up. And get things developed and tweaked. And I also think that the quality of work, both in terms of the skill set of the team, and as well as also the technical setup that we have, has really set us up for the future, and now we can actually start working with the site again, and yeah, we're super happy about that, and like super excited on taking Planday.com to the next level, and we couldn't have done that with you guys. You really has been sort of it feels like you're an extended part of our team, so super nice.
Thank you. That is once again very, very humbling to hear, and I'm happy that we're able to support you guys and that we collaborate still to this day on the website. So moving on to our cooperation, can you tell me a little bit like why did you choose Blazity? Why did you choose to partner with us on this?
I think when you choose partner or vendor when it comes to technology, I've done it for 10 years, bought tons of technology, worked with tons of agencies. I think it's really important to find not just an agency, but finding a partner, a growth partner, someone that is equally invested in your growth as they are, kind of in that we pay the invoices in time. Yeah, and that's also why I choose Blazity, because you have a commercial flair in your service offering of being a technical service provider that helps me and my team actually become better. So you actually bring something to the table next to the development work you're doing for us. And I think that's really good. And that's why, we're happy to be with Blazity right now.
Thank you, Fred. We're also extremely happy to have you as a client, and what you say, it brings warmth to my heart because we as a company, we really try hard to be the blend of this kind of technical company that's the best experts in their fields, but also consultants that can advise and bring other value than just pure code to the cooperation. So I'm really happy that this is something we were able to achieve together.
Yeah, I mean, it's important. I mean, at the end of the day, when shit hit the fan, which it will, you need someone to pick up the phone and be there. And that's usually when you see which agencies that are invested and those that are not. And as you know, it's been a little bit bumps on the road, but you've been there and you solved it together with us, and we really appreciate that.
Thank you. And speaking of bumps on the road, I think it's there's one interesting thing we should talk about. So one of the, I would say, early challenges of our cooperation was that this was not your first migration to headless. So can you speak a little bit on that?
I think Planday had a normal WordPress site back in the day before I started. And they did a migration into headless with WordPress. I think it was Gutenberg and Gatsby on the front end. And it was not the right setup for us. It meant that it was very slow to work on. And it wasn't really finished, and we had a really hard time and struggled a lot. And it took a long time, that migration, and it was fairly recent, so it was a pretty brand new site. And now when we migrated out of that, I think we accomplished that in I don't think I've ever done it this fast. I think it was three months or something like that we could get out of that uniform and into a new setup.
I think it's worth mentioning that your site had 900 pages, so
yeah.
So it was really an intense period, but we achieved it together. And
900 pages we didn't even know about. I mean, because it's just so much content that you accumulate over time, and you haven't got rid of, and you just add more. So that was actually a huge undertaking and a lot of surprises, nasty surprises. But that's where the partnership comes in. Like, we digged in and we got the work done. Yeah, that's cool. That was really cool. It was good work.
Yes, it was. I think it's extremely important that, as you said in the beginning, we stick together through thick and thin, right? And when, as you said, shit hits the fan, we are here for it.
I think what I experienced was that you guys were always present, like attentive. You guys were there, and you you kind of brought the sense of calm when many times the client or us we're freaking out. Maybe felt like you kind of got it covered, and that felt that there was a good calmness around it. It was a huge undertaking, as I said, and deadlines and that had been promised and stuff, and it felt like you were equally invested as us and equally as pissed off as us when bumps happened, and so yeah,
everybody felt like it was their project and that they needed to deliver it. So yes, they will definitely invest it. So as you mentioned, I think at the beginning of our talk, you really value like people who speak their mind, right? Who not only like take tasks and do them, but are there to advise you.
Yeah, I think that one is actually a key point that I think you guys stand out because when you work with developers and sometimes you get the developer that is, they need a specification and they will follow it, and they don't think beyond the code to what the actual vision is and what is it that the client seek to achieve. Because I think many times the client might not know fully. That's why it's so important where you have developers that actually think critically. It's like, really, is this really what they need? And I think that's something that I like with Blazity. The guys that on our R account, they've come up with tons of improvements, and we should not do there. Or they ask, well, have you thought about these things? Are you thinking that you need to do this in the future? Then we might need to do it a more future-proof or scalable way. And I really enjoy that, to working with those type of people. That's what I want to work with on the development side.
One of our core values is actually being client first, thinking client first. And we believe that part of thinking client first is to sometimes challenge the client's ideas with constructive feedback to make sure that the solution, that the work we're doing will work in the absolute best possible way for the client.
That's good. Well, I can say that it's shown, and in the end of the day, right, the client is going to needs to be happy, and it needs to be solved, no matter if they were right or not. So it's better to challenge them early and then have them happy in the end, right?
Yes. Yes, exactly. And it also takes a skill to be able to constructively and in a good manner challenge a client.
Yeah.
So this is also something we train and what we try to get better at every day at Blazity.
That's cool.
Thank you, Fred. And then on the other hand, could you name 2 aspects of our collaborations that you would change or improve?
That's a really good question. I would probably not change so much, actually. Not that I can think of. I think that the way we started this project was very chaotic. You guys didn't have the choice, so we kind of went in knowing that, and it worked out. So that's really good. Next time, we're great that we would maybe start with the retainer relationship and not the really bad, problematic website setup that we need to fix now.
No worries. We'll do that with the next migration we do for Planday. So moving on, would you recommend Blazity to another company with similar needs, looking to either migrate to a headless website or build a new headless website from the ground up?
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely recommend you guys to any complex project that, especially migrations, where where you have SEO and organic rankings that needs to be maintained or built out, or bigger item projects like e-commerce stores or whatever. Yeah, I would definitely recommend you guys.
Thank you, Fred. That's really nice to hear. I think this is it. It was great.
Cool.
Great talking with you today. And I think right now we can head back to the office to do some more work on your website.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Fred.